begin with a little puzzle to warm up your brain. So there are two identical twins named Al and Bo. So one day when Bo was 20, he looks at himself in the mirror, looks down, and notices something is a little bit off. So he calls up his brother Al and says, Al, I think we need to go get a physical. And so Al says, okay. So they go to the doctor and get their physicals, and after the doctors research a little bit about their symptoms, they call them back and they say that they both have Kallman syndrome, which is a disorder that's classified with delayed puberty and loss of hearing. But Al checked out as completely normal, while Bo was missing all of his genitals and had loss of hearing. So if they were identical twins, why did one of them experience the symptoms while the other did not? I have another pair, Gavin and Jason. So when Gavin and Jason were born, the doctors told their mom that they both had a gene that exposed them to type 2 diabetes at a very young age. So when they were 15 years old, Gavin developed type 2 diabetes, but Jason remained healthy for the rest of his life. So even though Gavin and Jason were brought up in the same environment, with the same eating habits, only one of them developed type 2 diabetes. So why? The answer I learned last year in AP Bio was epigenetics. So epi is the Greek root word for upon or above. So the term epigenetics literally means above genetics. So it is defined as the process in which genes are...
Is it okay if I go to work?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's the process in which genes are turned on and off based on environmental factors. So you were each born with your unique epigenome that your mom and dad gave you genes for. But epigenetics is when they're switched on or off. One is expressed and one isn't. So what are these internal and external factors? So internal include food, body temperature, alcohol intake, thoughts, emotions, and hormones. While some external factors are culture, sunlight intake, surrounding moods, and chemical exposure. So when I say that if a person is happy beside you, you are going to be happy, that improves your epigenome. So this is all accomplished by two processes, methylation and acetylation. And if you've taken a bio class, you probably know what these are. If you haven't, you probably don't. So first, DNA methylation is the process in which a methyl group, which is a cluster of CH3 molecules, is attached to a protein that is wrapped around your DNA. So if you think of your DNA as a pipe, the protein is wrapped around it, and methyl groups are attached to it. So what does it do? This turns off genes, or deactivates genes. So if a gene was previously expressed, DNA methylation shuts them off. DNA acetylation, on the other hand, is when an acetyl group, which is COCH3 molecules, is removed from a protein that was previously there that is wrapped around your DNA. So same concept, if your DNA was a bar and the protein is wrapped around it, if the groups were already there, acetylation removes them. So think of this kind of like your headlights in a car. So when you're driving down the road and it gets dark, your headlights turn on. When it's light outside, your headlights turn off. Epigenetics is kind of the same thing. So based on your environment, if it was dark outside, your headlights would come on. So if a gene was not expressed, it would become expressed. And DNA acetylation also turns on or activates genes. But epigenetics does not change the gene itself. So imagine you have a younger sister and you're in high school. Ellie, you know this very well. You're ready to leave for school. Your sister comes downstairs in an outfit. She looks in a mirror, does a few poses, and decides she doesn't like what she's wearing. So she goes back upstairs, changes her outfit, comes back downstairs, and has a completely different look. Your sister is still the same person, but she's just wearing a different outfit. So epigenetics does not change your original genes, but it changes its outfit. So it changes what it looks like. Okay. Here's pictures of some puppies. I just want you to look at them for a second. Studies show that thinking upbeat and positive thoughts can have a direct positive effect on your epigenetic composition. So by Dr. Caroline Leaf, the I factor is what makes us unique. It is, in my belief, the true basics of epigenetics. So each of you are unique. You have a unique epigenome, but some genes are expressed and others are not. So if identical twins have the same genome, the reason that they're a little bit different personality-wise or looks-wise is because of epigenetics. So remember the puppies? I showed you them because when you are happy and think positive and confident thoughts, endorphins are released in your brain, which switches on genes that were not expressed and improves your epigenome. So I just improved your epigenome. Okay, so one of the biggest arguments in society is the nature versus nurture. Oh, I'm missing a slide. No worries. So there was an experiment done at a university with mice. And so they took a group of mouse mothers and observed them and their offspring. And so mothers that nurtured their babies were not stressed. And mothers who didn't nurture their babies became stressed. Yeah, so the result. So offspring that didn't receive attention, or in mouse terms like licks from their mothers, became stressed. And offspring that did receive attention were calm and relaxed. But why? So mice have these things in their brains called the NGF gene. And whether they're nurtured or not, this causes an alteration in this gene. So the stressed mice had a more inactive hippocampus, which is the part of your brain that processes stress and overwhelming emotions. So the mice that did receive the licks were not stressed, and they had a very active hippocampus. So this gene was expressed. When they did not receive the nurture and did not receive the licks, this part of their brain was inactive, and they became stressed. That was out of order. Okay. Moms, did you ever have those pregnancy cravings when you were pregnant, like some chocolate or some milkshakes? I know my mom did, but what you eat when you're pregnant actually affects your baby. Nice. So the Agouti experiment was done at another university or research institute. Okay, so there's an Agouti gene in mammals that mimics the ones in humans of type 2 diabetes. So for a mouse to have diabetes, it means the Agouti gene is expressed. So when they're yellow and fat, it means the Agouti gene is expressed. And when they're light brown and thin, it means they're healthy and normal and it is not expressed. So they fed a thin, healthy mouse foods that did not have methyl groups in them, which means, see those little green dots? Those are methyl groups. So they were unhealthy foods, like a lot of fat, a lot of carbs. And their offspring ended up being the plump yellow mice, even though they were thin and brown. And they did vice versa, where they fed a fat mouse foods that did not have these methyl groups, and their offspring were thin, healthy, and brown. So it's okay if you had the cravings and you caved in, but in moderation. Okay, boys don't get off so easily. A father's sperm also has a unique epigenome. So an example is a folate deficiency, which is B vitamins. And folate is responsible for creating genetic material in sperm during cell division. And so if fathers don't have folate or don't have B vitamins, it can lead to developmental disabilities or cognitive disabilities in their child. So it's not only what we eat, but it's what is done to what we eat. So if you go to a grocery store and buy conventional burgers in a package that probably isn't meat, you're eating it from a cow that was fed genetically modified food, and that is not good. Genetically modified food, when they eat it, removes omega-3 fatty acids, omega-6 fatty acids, which are important for our diet. And so if you have the option, you should eat from grass-fed cows, because grass-fed cows gain that nutrients from the soil, which is they're supposed to have, and it gives our bodies good nutrients when we eat them. The building blocks for your epigenome. So there are a couple vitamins and minerals and acids that you should always have in your system to improve your epigenome, and they are as follows. So B12 vitamins, which is what I talked about in father's sperm, methionine, betaine, choline, folic acid, and zinc. So this is about to get listy, I apologize. So vitamin B12 you can get from shellfish, oysters like clams, liver, crab, soy products, skim milk, and eggs. So the main thing for vitamin B12 is like dairy. It's also in a lot of cereals. Folic acid, also good if you eat liver. These are more of like the green vegetables, so leaf vegetables, peas, beans, sunflower seeds, also found in breakfast cereals, but folic acid is common in any green vegetable. Methionine, my parents love this, garlic, spinach, Brazil nuts, kidney beans, tofu, tuna, and pork. So a lot of vegans who don't eat meat gain their methionine from tofu. So betaine is gained from quinoa, beets, spaghetti, brown rice, spinach, and whole wheat foods. So all of your pastas and carbs and breads. Choline is eggs, lettuce, cauliflower, mushrooms, asparagus, cod, and Brussels sprouts. So it's common in a lot of fish and vegetables. And lastly, zinc, which is common in seafood, lamb, pumpkin, squash, cashews, chocolate, and chickpeas. So what about vitamin C? It is not only for your immune system, but also is good for your epigenome. So the levels of vitamin C that your body is required to take in are determined by those long-named genes. These genes are responsible for the production of collagen, for one example. And collagen are the proteins that keep skin and tissues together and elastic. So pregnant women should be eating a lot of vitamin C because it keeps the tissues in their womb tight to stray away from any developmental disabilities in children. So defined by Dr. Bailey Kirkpatrick, which is one of the scientists I researched, he said that a ketogenic diet is the most effective eating lifestyle for your epigenome. So what is a ketogenic diet? It is low carbs and high fats. So not the unhealthy fats like McDonald's and Burger King and all that. It's more of like avocados, dairy, cheese, like vegetable oil, nuts, like the healthy fats. Breast cancer and green tea. You probably don't think they're linked, but they are. So there's a chemical in green tea called epigallo 3-gallate, which changes genetic markers for breast cancer. So oncogenes are what trigger breast cancer. So they cause apoptosis to occur in oncogenes. For those of you who don't know, apoptosis is like cell suicide. So it causes your cancer cells to basically destroy themselves. So it slows the overall growth of cell masses, which is known as cancer. So this is different for everyone's epigenome. So it may work for some women, but might not work for others. So what inspired me to do this project was an epigenetic cookbook that we made in AP Bio last year. My teacher gave us the assignment to research epigenetically rich recipes and put them in a cookbook for our class. So that's how I became interested. So finally, drink your green tea, remember your headlights, appreciate your annoying sister, and don't forget to smile often.
Question, please?
Oh, questions? Yeah, sure.